have some questions from our viewers around the country. We love answering your questions. If you have a question for Karen or me, go on our website. You'll see there an opportunity to send us an email. Write your question or send it in the mail. But we love to answer your questions. And Karen, you've got one there for me to begin with?
I do. It's from Paula in Ohio. I am a Christian woman in an unequally yoked marriage and want to tithe, but my unsaved husband does not. What do I do? And how can I honor my husband without dishonoring God? Okay, well, great question. And there are several phrases in there that some people might not be familiar with. One is unequally yoked, and that refers to a believer married to an unbeliever. Tithing refers to giving the first 10% of your income to the Lord in your local church, being the place that you would give that. And then saved, again, meaning someone who has accepted Jesus Christ as the Lord of their life. And she's saying she's in an unequally yoked marriage, and she wants to give 10% of the income that they make to the Lord, and her husband doesn't. She can't. I mean, now she can go to him and submit it to him and just say, here's what I'd like to do, but neither spouse should take control of the finances. And because this is something that is giving a substantial amount of your income away, she is going to have the agreement of her spouse. So if he won't agree to tithe, the second thing that I would encourage her to do is to go to her husband and say, can I give? Is there a portion of our income that you would allow me to give to the Lord? And she is in a marriage that is unequally yoked, and that's very unfortunate. Pray for your husband, love your husband. In honoring your husband, you are honoring the Lord, even though he might not allow you to worship the way you want. Never deny your faith for anybody. And that means your personal relationship with Jesus Christ, believing in God, believing in the Bible, going to church, things like that. Those things are very important. But be very respectful of the fact, if you're married to someone who's not a believer, is that you can't insist that they do the things that you want to do. And when it relates to your income, it involves him, and so you're going to have his agreement. And just have a good attitude about it and understand that however you got unequally yoked, you are unequally yoked. Pray for your husband, love him, and you can honor the Lord at the same time. That's good.
Okay, now I've got a question for you, Karen, from Maya in Connecticut. I'm a big fan of Marriage Today, but I'm struggling in the area of honoring my husband, and that's the theme of today's program. Karen, what are some of the practical ways you showed Jimmy honor, especially when he was dominant and verbally abusive? I want to hear this answer.
Well, first of all, I just want to say you really are handsome tonight.
She's trying to get out of it. Maya, I'm sorry.
No, I can answer this. Okay, well, first of all, I would like to say it has to do with your attitude. I think you need to, check your attitude, and, you don't just nod your head so fast.
I'm amening you, sister. Go for it.
And you check your attitude, and I think it's just important to constantly remind yourself that to use respect. We've lost respect for any kind of authority, much less how we treat our husbands in today's society, so much so that it just, bleeds over into everything. And I just think it's so important to represent ourselves as godly women to, our husbands, so that the world can see what it looks like. Because if we're all dishonoring, we need a model of somebody who's honoring. And I think in the marriage, it's so important to use as a platform to, show respect and show people how to talk and how to treat someone, even if you don't agree.
Well, back when I was dominant and verbally abusive, I remember, when I would make a mistake, you treated me better than I deserved. Now, you stood up to me, but you treated me better than I deserved. The other thing, Karen, is saying things. You would say things that were in disagreement, and then you would pray about it. But you wouldn't beat up on me. You wouldn't try to make me pay a price for if I didn't agree or something like that.
Well, I think as a woman, it's important to watch your thoughts through the day.
Right.
What you're meditating on. If you're meditating on the fact that you did something wrong right before you left for work and you're thinking about that all day long, by the time you come home, it's like you are dead.
That's right. It's an attitude.
You've forgotten.
Well, it's an attitude. You control your thinking, and don't let the devil take you to a place of constantly rehearsing everything wrong, taking it out to its furthest possible negative conclusion, and inciting fear and things like that. And you have another question for me.
Okay, Angela in Utah. My husband and I co-own a business, and as the more dominant party in our marriage, I'm having a hard time letting him make business decisions. I'm screaming on the inside while trying to stay polite and respectful on the outside. Please help before I explode.
Well, I think you're the more dominant in our marriage.
Excuse me.
And so you might want to answer this. But I think, first of all, she says she recognizes the fact that she's the more dominant in the relationship. That's half the battle right there. And the second thing, they're in a business relationship. And of course, we work together, Karen, you know, in the ministry here. And we know what that's like. And what I would say is this: first of all, you know you're dominant, and that's great that you know you are. The second thing, you are being patient, and which is very important. And you're saying, but it's driving you crazy because you want to grab the thing and take control of it. That you're doing the right thing, really. The only other thing that I would say is that once you've said to your husband what you want to say about the business, you do just pray about it. You can't enforce it, you know, unless he's doing something destructive. But you just pray about it and let God be the enforcer. And what happens in that is that God then is the partner in the relationship to change your husband, do whatever needs to be done, but you don't ruin the relationship or the business in the meantime. And the only other thing I would say in that regard is, if you have to sacrifice something, sacrifice working together, don't sacrifice your marriage. And a lot of people can work together and do it very well, but if you can't do both, choose your marriage over the business. But I think you can have both. It's just a matter of being smart the way you are right now, but just praying about it and not letting your emotions get the better of you. Now, these answers here, we hope this is helpful, and we really do appreciate you writing in, because we really love answering the real questions that people have. And now this ministry, as you can hear from the questions that are being asked all over America, Marriage Today goes all across America and around the world. That we literally are reaching millions and millions of people with this incredibly important information about how you can have a successful marriage. And I want you to know, Karen and I want you to know, you can have the marriage of your dreams. God made you for marriage. You can succeed in marriage. You just need the right information.
Thank you for joining us. Partner with Marriage Today and receive the Marriage on the Rock series on CD or DVD. Marriage Today's latest book, Happy Happy Love, will supercharge your marriage with practical tips, wisdom, and inspiration for every stage of marriage. Visit happylovebook.com. Follow your interests and get social by connecting with Jimmy and Karen and the Ministry of Marriage Today on Twitter. Become a rock-solid partner today and equip yourself with the tools you need for a successful marriage. $14, $28, or $56 per month. Choose the partnership level that's right for you. Become a rock-solid partner today